Hi guys, so my mom is gonna show you how to make clothes.
Hi guys. Today's Thanksgiving and I'm not doing anything. I'm not cooking. I just started feeling better, so but my sister, she's gonna bring me a plate over here. And I decided to do this car seat cover tutorial, so that's what we're making today. Materials, you're gonna need a yard of fleece, minky, or you can just use cotton fabric for the lining, but you need 1 yard of lining. I'm using fleece. I got this from Walmart. It's 1.5, but I'm only gonna use 1 yard. And for the outside of my car seat canopy, I'm using this Mickey Mouse fabric that I got from Walmart, and you need 1 yard also. So you need 1 yard of main fabric and you need 1 yard of lining. And then I got this little square fat quarter fabric because I'm going to add a big bow to my car seat cover. This is optional. You don't have to add the bow, but if you want to, go ahead. First off, we need 36 by 42. So we need this 36 by 42. Now, if you know, a yard is 36 already. 36 inches is a yard. So this is 36. It's right at this 36 mark. If you can look, 36. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, that's 36. So now I need the width, the length to be 42. So I'm gonna cut this at a 42 down here. Because right now it's at a 44. So I'm cutting 2 inches off. Okay, I'm doing mine different. This part is optional. Skip this part. If you're a beginner and you just want to do one solid print for your car seat cover, skip this part. Do not do this part. What I'm doing, if you do decide to do this, I'm just cutting off some. You can cut off as much as you would like. And I'm going to add a different print in with this. I cut off this 8-inch wide by the 36. And I'm going to replace this fabric with it, because I wanted mine to have 2 prints. Again, you do not have to do this. You can skip this step. And I will tell you, if you're skipping this step, I will tell you when to go to the next step. I'm just cutting this exact piece out of this fabric. But I made it a 1/2 inch bigger for seam allowance. Okay, so I got this up into this fabric. So I want this on both ends of my car seat canopy. So I'm gonna do this again. And I will be done with this. I no longer need this anymore. And I do have to cut the other end of this off because I'm doing 2. Remember, I'm doing 2. So I should have did that. Well, it don't matter what order you do, as long as you remember not to cut the wrong side. Okay, so I'm gonna cut the top of this off. And then I'm gonna sew it back together so that I can have one big rectangle again. Let me know if I'm confusing y'all. Or if you have any questions, just comment below. And again, this is the side that's 36 that I'm cutting out. Okay. So I got my 2 pieces and I took away these. I don't need it. You're gonna pin them all the way across so that it can be back one rectangle. Don't forget to pin the second one. Okay, so I got this side pinned. See guys? Now you're gonna pin the second one. So now I'm gonna pin this one. So that I can have my full rectangle again. I don't have a lot of pins, so just pin it like I did that side so you can have your whole rectangle. Now we're gonna go to the sewing machine. We're gonna sew these together so that we can have one whole piece, and then I'll show you the next step. Okay guys, so now we're just sewing our pieces back together so we can have one full rectangle. So sew exactly where you pinned it. I'm doing a 1/2 inch seam allowance at a straight stitch. Don't forget the back stitch. We're gonna do the same to the other side that we pinned. Gonna sew that all the way down. And after that, I will show you the next step. Okay guys, so now that we have sewn our 2 pieces together, we have our complete rectangle. So next, get your lining fabric and lay that out. If you're using fleece or minky, you definitely should pin it real good because these are some slippery fabrics. I'm just going to trace what I have so that these can be the exact same size. I'm going to cut around here and then I will show you guys the next step. I have my main fabric and my lining fabric. Both are the same measurements, 36 by 42. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna pin these 2 together. And once you pin them all the way together, you're gonna sew around the whole thing, except you're gonna leave a 4 to 5 inch opening. So we're gonna sew it together, right side to right side, but leave a 4 to 5 inch opening.
If you're using fleece or minky, I cannot stress this enough. Be sure to pin. Use tons of pins.
Okay, so now that we pinned all the way around, we're just gonna sew it all the way around, except our opening that we left. Do not sew your opening closed. Okay, so now that we got it sewed all the way around, we have one big rectangle. It's inside out. So cut any loose threads. Make sure you didn't leave any pins. I just found one. And then we'll go to where our opening is at. Mine is here. And what you're going to do is just turn it inside out through that opening. And then I'm poking the corners still. I poked all my corners still. And it's completely right side out. So I will fold that seam allowance in. Where we had our opening at. And close it. And I'm gonna pin it. Okay, so now that we have our cover sewed together and we pulled it right side out, what we're gonna do now is first what I did is pin that opening. Let me see if I can find my opening first. But I pinned it closed. Where is it? It's hiding, y'all. Okay, there you go. So I pinned it closed. I folded it from the inside, the seam allowances, and then I pinned it closed. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna iron all around the edges, basically to get the edges flat. And once we iron it, we're just gonna go ahead and stitch all the way around the edges amongst the whole thing. That way, once we stitch around the whole thing, it'll close up that hole that we left open. Okay, now that we're done ironing, I put the black thread for my bobbin thread. Since my bottom is black, I don't want pink thread to be showing when I top stitch. So now we're gonna do our top stitching. I'm almost at the opening that we had open. So make sure you have it pinned and fold it in so that you can stitch across it to close it. Because there should be no opening after this step. This is the step to close it. Okay, so mine is closed. I just went over it. And now I'm going to continue to top stitch. This also can be like a cute baby blanket, actually. Like if you want to make a blanket, just do this. This will be your last step. Got the pretty fabric on top and the fleece underneath, so that can be warm. We stitched around the edges. It's time to work on the straps. So I'm gonna put that to the side. I'm using this fabric for my straps. I was gonna use the pink Mickey Mouse fabric, but I'm gonna use this. And we need 2 straps. They're gonna be 7 by 12. That's the measurements for the straps. So I'm gonna cut 2 of them. 7 by 12. 7 inches wide, 12 inches long. I'm cutting mine on the fold, so I'm gonna cut it at 3 3.5, since it's on the fold, because 3.5 and then times 2 is 7. So that give me my 7-inch width. Okay. Now 12. I'm cutting my length. Okay, so I have one 7 by 12 inch piece. We need to do it again. Okay, now we have our 2 strap pieces, 7 by 12 inches long. We're gonna work on those. So what we would do is fold it right side to right side. The right side is always the pretty side, of course. So pretty side touching pretty side, like that. We're folding it in half. And we're gonna stitch all the way down. I'm doing a half inch seam allowance. I always do a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Let's stitch all the way down. Back stitch. Okay. So we're gonna cut the threads off. And then what I like to do is I'm gonna trim some of that seam allowance off. So then we're gonna turn this right side out by pulling that in, flipping it in. Until it's all the way out. Okay, so your seam, you should have your seam right there. We'll put the seam towards the middle. Here's my seam, it's in the middle. And now you can iron it so it can stay in position. I'm not gonna iron it right now. But what we would do is fold it in so that we can hem it. So fold about a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So I got that folded in. And then I'm going to pin it so that I can sew it closed. And you would do that on both sides. Okay, so one side is done. Now I'm going to do the other side. Okay, so we have our straps done. We folded the top and sewed it closed. We did that on both ends. I did my second strap also. So next is adding the Velcro. I forgot to tell you you need Velcro, but you need Velcro. I got this Velcro from Walmart. It is the sew-on kind. They have the sew-on kind that you sew it on, and they have the sticky adhesive kind. I always get the sew-on kind. You open it up, it comes in 2 parts. This little pricky part, and then the soft part. Our straps is 3 inches wide. So I cut 2 3-inch pieces of the pricky one and 2 3-inch pieces of the soft one. Because you need 1 for each. And here's my pieces. I just put them together so I won't lose them. Because that's how they'll stick together. So next, to apply these, we got our seam in the center. And this is how it'll be. You'll fold it like that when it's on the actual car seat. It will fold down like that. So that means we can put one here on the outside, and then one will go in the inside. That way they will close and stick together. So now I'm just gonna pin it. Pin that one, and then since it folds on top of that, yep, my 3 inches was off. I eyeballed it somewhat. And then pin this one. And we're just gonna stitch around the whole box of this. So it'll fold like that, close. So one is on the outside, and one is on the inside. So let's go stitch around. We're gonna make a stitch all the way around to secure this Velcro onto here. And you would do that on, do the same thing on the other strap. So we're just gonna stitch around it with a straight stitch. Keep my needle down, lift this up, turn it, and so keep my needle down, turn it, and so needle down, back stitch when you're done. Cut those extra threads off. So I did one. Now I'm going to do the other one. Same exact way. And then you'll do your second strap just like that. So now I'm going to show you where to place the straps. Okay. So I have the car seat cover in front of me. Let's say this is the front of the car seat cover. That's the back. So going this way is the 42, and going across is the 36. What you're gonna do is fold it in half. Fold it in half. Then from both sides, mark 12 inches. Just make sure it's laid out flat. So from both sides, I'm gonna mark 12 inches, which is here. And then I'm gonna do the same for this side. Inches. And I'm only going through one of them so that it won't be shut. So then I'm gonna lay it back. Okay, so now that when we folded it and marked our two 12-inch marks on the other side, you should be able to feel your pin. And if you have to, just bring it up to where you can see it on this side. Poke it up to where you can see it on this side. I got mine. So next what we're gonna do is right where we see those pins at, we're gonna mark 12 inches from the side. And do that on the other side also. This side don't want to lay straight. So 12 inches from that side. I'm basically just marking the mark that we had on the other side onto the top of the fabric. So that I can take the ones on the back side out. So again, I did 12 from both sides. 12 from both sides. And then the ones that we had on the other side, I just marked it so that I can take those out. Let me see if I can show you. Those was my marks. Just mark it. My fabric already had like this crease in it, so I can use that as a guide. So next what we're gonna do is get our strap, fold it in half, just so we can find the center of the strap. Do the same on this one. Center seam right here. Then I mark my center point. And then after that, we're gonna basically line that up with the points that we made on here. So this would lay right there. Line it up. Basically, you're lining the pins up. I'm gonna pin mine, and then I will show you. So line that middle point up. With that pin that's going the same direction. And then I could take that one out and put it in the center. Okay, so that's how mine's gonna be pinned. So I pinned it right there. And then after that, you would just sew. You can either just sew a straight line across, or you can do a box, whichever you prefer. I normally just sew a line across, but if you want it more secure, just do a box. I might do that this time, just to do something different. But I'm gonna go ahead and pin the other one. The center with that pin. So I'm taking that one out so I can pin it. And then I'm gonna grab this one just to pin it in the seam right here, so that it can be more secure when we're sewing this. And that's basically all we're doing. Make sure they both line up, the straps, so mine look good. And what we're going to do is sew a box around here. Or you could just sew a straight stitch across in the center where that center pin is. So I'm going to go sew my box or my straight stitch, and then I will come back and show you. But this is the last step. So now I'm just sewing the strap onto the cover. Just trying to make sure ain't no extra fabric in between. I'm doing like a 1/2 inch from that center line. And then we're basically doing the same thing, just pivot so that we can turn it and sew our box, our square. And you'll do the same thing to the other side. One done. Let me get my scissors. So I just sew the box around where we had it pinned, like a 1/2 inch from this, from where we had it pinned. You can't see it because my thread is black, but I just sewed the box around where we had it pinned in the center. Okay, and I'm gonna do the other one, and then we're done. And here's my box that I sewed around. Boom. You can see the stitches. Okay, so after we sew our boxes, that is the last step. You can try it on your car seat. I'm using my son car seat, and he have this weird top, so hopefully it look right still, because normally I make these with the regular car seats without this triangle piece, but we'll see. And if you see, make sure you go over to make sure you don't have no threads laying around. Because I keep finding extra pieces of thread. But then again, it could be on my floor, so. And there we have it. Car seat cover. And you can peek at the baby.